Hello, everybody out there. Today we have another installment of Greater Than Careers. Today I have Mr. Marcus Sanchez. Mr. Marcus is going to tell a little about himself and do his little introduction, and we'll get it going from there.
Awesome. Thank you, Ethan. My name is Marcus Sanchez. I'm owner of Pitfall Training, born and raised in New Braunfels, Texas, and currently reside in San Antonio, Texas. I am the owner and founder of Pitfall Training. This Pitfall was started back in October of last year. Really exciting. Right now, it's a personal training business. I'm working on opening up a gym here in the near future. Once things kind of settle down with post-COVID and businesses start opening up and thriving a little bit. So right now, focus on personalized programming, fitness services, and just leading better quality of lives.
Okay, gotcha. Sounds really good. It's really positive. I like the fitness aspect, especially with my little bit of background in there as well. So I know you said you started it going since COVID, and that's kind of like after that you kind of started. What kind of got you to the point in time where you wanted to start like your own like fitness training business?
Yeah, of course. Owning a gym and owning a business has kind of been a lifelong aspiration of mine. I've been a personal trainer for over a decade. 8 to about almost 9 years of that. I worked for a corporate gym, Gold's Gym, where I met you. And really learned a lot about the business and the industry, and just kind of took what I know and at the time and had my own philosophy, had my own vision, and decided that after COVID had happened, globally, we were all kind of on a fresh slate, and so I thought it was a perfect opportunity, for me to step away and pursue my aspirations.
Okay, I got you. I like the journey and just kind of taking that leap during the COVID time, which is even cooler. So what got you interested in like personal training in the first place, Marcus? Like what kind of got you into that field?
Yeah, for sure. So I played football through high school and college. When I got to college, I realized I liked the off season a little bit more than I liked the game. The changes in the body, the movement, developing strength, conditioning, and power and agility, all of those things. And so I decided to take my undergraduate into the exercise science and performance, kinesiology, basically. And from there, I had 2 routes to go, either pre-med or personal and community health and wellness. And so, kind of sitting back, thinking about it, looking at a physical therapy route, I was, the thoughts of it being, more professional, I guess, in society's eyes, chiropractor, things of that nature. But I thought about the everyday, the day-to-day, and I asked myself, do I really want to be around people who don't necessarily want to be there every day? So I decided to take the personal and health and community route, where I'm going to be working with individuals who want to better their lives, who are seeking advice, and who are really wanting to live a better quality of life, just don't know how to do it or where to start. So that's how I got into personal training. Really wanted to do the strength and conditioning coach, at a college somewhere, but really found my passion in personal training.
Okay. I like it. I didn't know you played football before either. What position did you play?
Yeah, so through high school and about midway through college, I played center.
Okay.
And then the last few years, played fullback.
Okay. Center and fullback. All right. I never knew that. I've never had the story come up. The one thing you did touch on though that I like a lot as well, it's something that I really enjoyed about fitness, because I had a big background before getting into fitness, like in I guess customer service, retail customer service, like in college. And people would always complain saying like, oh, the customers that come in are so grumpy or pissed off. And I'd be like, yeah, it's because they have to be here. Like they have to eat food. They have to get groceries. They have to get they have to come into the grocery store. But it's the one thing about the gym and like personal training, kind of like what you're doing as well, is people are making the choice to come in. So having that positive experience, kind of like what you touched on with the whole chiropractic thing. It's like, you didn't say chiropractic. What did you say exactly? What was it?
Yeah. Chiropractor and physical therapist.
Like they have to be there and they're pissed off if they hurt themselves or whatever it may be. Whereas like working as a trainer, working in the gym environment, people are coming in because they want to better themselves, and they're usually in a positive mindset when they're doing it.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite things about it. So what does a normal day look like for you working within like the training aspect of like your career, and then also running like your own business?
Yeah, so I've really these past about month or two really have been diving deep in the one-on-one client relationship and programming. So day to day, at the moment, I'll typically do about 4 to 5 hour sessions per day, 5 days out of the week. And the rest of that is either prospecting. I just implemented or invested in a software. So getting the app set up for my clients, developing the points and reward systems that I have implemented as well. And so it's pretty much a full-time job, maybe a little bit more at times. Given I'm only doing 4 or 5 sessions, per day, I'm still working more than that. So
Yeah, okay. I got you. I got you. So sounds like you're working a decent amount. How many hours per week are you normally putting in right now?
training clients right now, it's ranging anywhere from 16 to 20 hours per week. But I really looking for about 25, 28 per week.
Okay. And then how much are you doing like the other like operational side of like running the business and like prospecting and advertising, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I would say about 20% to 30%.
Okay. Okay. It's not too bad then. Not too bad. So you're working more than 40 hours a week, but you're also working for yourself. So it kind of like
Yeah.
evens out a little bit at the end of the day. So one good question for you that I did kind of just thought of off the top of my head, because I'm kind of curious, like, what are you doing that's kind of setting you apart from like the big box gyms or maybe like other people who are trying to get into like the fitness space? It's kind of like making your brand different or stand out.
Yeah, of course. So first and foremost, taking an individualized approach. Every body, every person is different. We're all the same. However, anatomically, we're put together different, right? We have different processes. We, can utilize energy differently, right, than someone else. Just men and women, obviously, there's a difference there. So taking an individualized approach and really finding the correct plan and program or path that is going to get you to your goal safely and efficiently. So, as opposed to any other fitness service, right? I like general movements, right? If I had a choice to say, hey, either train with me or don't do anything at all, I'm not going to recommend don't do anything at all. I'm going to say at least get in a group class, move, do something, because our bodies are built to move, and so when we move, good things happen. So second thing is a supporting partner. So, a lot of people go in, get a membership somewhere, taking classes, or, even working with personal trainers, and they don't really get a support system, right? Or I like to, call it a supporting partner, right? I'm a partner. We're in this together. And so really developing that personalized program, having me as a support system, or I'm going to do what you need, and if you need me to check in more frequently, that's what I'm going to do. If you just need me to tell you, write out the plan and you run with it, hey, that's what I'll do too. So really finding how you respond to whether it's accountability that you struggle with, whether it's motivation, whether it's just education, you don't know what you don't know. And then the last thing is I have created, I haven't really created it. A lot of businesses use it. It's a loyalty and rewards system. So a lot of restaurants, businesses, have this points and reward system, right, for loyalty customers that they use their products or services. They get points in exchange. They can use their points for their products or services in the future. And so I've implemented that with my current clientele and the business last week, actually. So basically incentivizing you on top of your results, right? Because if you do healthy behaviors, you're going to see results. But incentivizing you a little bit more, right, to do those healthy behaviors in return for flex bucks is what I call them. And you can use those flex bucks for sessions with me, or you can also utilize those flex bucks with any of my partnerships. So that's kind of what separates me from everybody else.
That's cool though. I like it. So it sounds like you're promoting kind of like a culture of wellness or like health, like with different businesses aside from your own. And then also I think the key point that really makes you stand out is just the fact that it sounds like you're really trying to get to like know the people that you're working with and really see what they need and how you can really help. And instead of just being like, hey, this is the plan, here you go, good luck, or like, I'll be here with you. I think it's really just the idea like you're trying to get to know them, trying to figure out what they actually need from you. Because like you said, one person might need a plan and they'll run, and one person might need a little bit more motivation or like coaching, or someone in their ear being like, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, and everybody's going to be a little bit different. So I like that I like that focus of like getting to know everybody on a more personal, deep level, which is awesome. So for yourself, right now within like running the business and like, with everything during COVID, do you feel like there's anything that you're doing different with like everything going on with COVID than you'd be doing if there wasn't COVID going on? Or do you feel like it's kind of the same right now with it kind of the way that it is?
Definitely COVID has changed the way we do things in a lot of aspects. I have never really done virtual or online training. However, I have a couple of clients that are out of state, that live out of state, and I also wanted to create services that can cater to as many people as possible. And so I guess that aspect for me is something that I've never really done, but I'm having good success with it. I'll typically, when we first start virtual training, have them actually take their phone, whether they have a home gym or they're utilizing a fitness space, take their phone with them, FaceTime or Zoom, and then for the hour, I'm right there with them, correcting, cueing, coaching. So they have the trainer, just not physically. So yeah, that's kind of what we had to adapt to.
I got you. It makes a lot of sense doing like the virtual training. So fun question I love to ask everybody. What was the first job you actually worked?
First job I actually worked was at a small restaurant from the house, down the road from the house that I grew up at. I was dishwasher, cook, housekeeper, pretty much everything except for waiting tables. I didn't wait tables, but yeah, I started at about age 15, I think. Yeah. I would ride my bike up the hill to the restaurant and ride my bike back home.
I got you. Did you get free food?
Yes.
See, everybody keeps on telling me about how their first job was at a restaurant or a cafe and they get free food. I'm like, man, I must have took the wrong first job because I didn't get free.
What was yours?
I worked at a grocery store when I was.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't get free anything. I got discounts on stuff. But yeah, everyone tells me they got free food, and I'm like, God, I should have had a different job when I first started out, I guess. So kind of jumping back into the education side. So you said that you were going to school. Did you end up getting a degree in what?
Yeah. So I got an undergraduate degree in exercise science and human performance.
Okay. And do you need a degree to be a personal trainer, or how does like that process of like certification and like degree, like how does that all kind of couple together, and like how does that kind of tie into like having like the certifications or like the sufficient level of like education to be like a personal trainer and all that jazz?
Yeah, that's a great question. So no, you don't necessarily need a degree to be a personal trainer. There are plenty of associations that certify you to be a personal trainer. However, I do feel that the degree gives you a great base and a great foundation as far as when it comes to biology, to biomechanics, physics, all of that. It gives you a great foundation. But no, there's no requirements really, to be a personal trainer and need a degree. So, but as for me, I see someone who has a degree, and I know that they've got a pretty good foundation as to the education aspect.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense. And then as far as like certifications, is there like specific certifications, or I guess like maybe like I don't want to say brands, it's not really what I'm looking for, but like brand. I'm gonna say brands for now. You can tell me what it's called.
Yeah.
Brands that you recommend, or maybe the ones that you have personally that you think are like valuable and useful to people that are working in that career.
Yeah. So to kind of answer all those questions to as many people as possible, there are quite a few associations, and what I would recommend, anybody that I talk to who's aspiring to be a personal trainer, is what are they really interested in? And so, like for me, for example, early on, I was really interested in the strength conditioning portion of kind of fitness, right? And so I got my degree through the NSCA, the National National Strength Conditioning Association. Currently, I've got my certification through the ISSA, and I like the portion of the ISSA. They spend a lot of time on the business, the marketing, how to set up to be an independent trainer. So that I never learned in school or through the certifications, that I've taken. But if you're one who's really intrigued with movement, I would recommend NASM. NASM really takes movement assessments very as a priority, really kind of assessing where and how you're starting as far as movement patterns and mobility is concerned. If you're into strength conditioning, NSCA or NSCA, NCSF is another good one for those that are big on programming and strength conditioning. And then there's also ones that are like ACE and ACSM are kind of on the sports medicine side. So it's just really, kind of exposing yourself to, a lot of areas and a lot of aspects to really kind of see what you like. And then, there's bound to be an association that's kind of emphasizes in that.
So kind of the idea of like figuring out what you kind of want to focus in or specialize in, and then kind of just going after that specific
right
certificate. So within, I don't know if it's nationwide or if it's just in Texas, but maybe you can kind of like shed some light on this as well. Like to be like an actual like personal trainer that's actually like certified and like actually able to, I don't know if it's to practice, but like actually like train people, you're required to have like a certificate of like personal training from like one of the associations, correct?
If you're working for a corporation or box gym, they likely have their own requirements.
Okay.
A lot of them are going to require NCCA accredited, which just means you have to take your certification exam in a proctored setting. So it's not online. There's no open book. So you can, if you're working independently, I mean, you have the freedom to kind of pick and choose. But it's great to have that, and you can also work with people without a certification. Early on I did it with some friends and just kind of to keep my hands on application, but definitely provides more value to the business and service when you've got that.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. So getting into like doing what you're doing specifically, not just like becoming a personal trainer, but like setting up and establishing like your own training company, and then wanting to get into opening like your own gym space as well. How competitive is it to get into that environment? Can you kind of touch on that overall?
Yeah, so as far as being a personal trainer, I would say it is more competitive now than, let's say, maybe 5-10 years ago, only because of the uprise of social media and fitness pages and fitness videos and things of that nature. I do tend to see a lot of individuals either claiming to be a personal trainer or are a personal trainer, and that's how they market through social media. It's fitness is very eye-catching. We all at some point in time, because we are built to move, we all seek some sort of movement and some sort of education. And so I would say it's pretty competitive as far as this point in time to be a personal trainer. So what I would recommend is really, going back to the previous question, is really finding what you like and what you are good at, and honing in on that, but also knowing all other aspects, right? Because you don't want to limit yourself to clientele. Like I can only work with rehab, right? For example, you want to, make sure that you can talk, all the other languages, right? So you can help as many people as possible. And so if you really kind of define, what it is that you do and want to do, and then have the education in all the realms, I think you'll be all right.
Okay, so basically being pretty well diversified is going to kind of set you apart from people that maybe only know about bodybuilding or stuff like that, kind of. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
It gives you the opportunity to potentially help more people.
Yeah, makes sense, and also help more people have more clients, make more money, that kind of stuff. It's all kind of important.
That's right.
So within the realm of training and owning your own training business, what's your favorite thing or the best thing about like working in this type of field?
The best thing I would say is when a client shows up to their session and their eyes are lit up, they're excited, I can see they're shining, they've got some good news to share. I've lost 5 pounds. I'm off my blood pressure medication. I can actually squat without pain. Those little wins are probably the best and most rewarding part of it. After that, I would say, as an independent trainer, kind of you get to dictate your own schedule. And that's what's really intriguing also about being a personal trainer is, you want to own your own schedule. And so, I'm big on balance and, time and quality of time spent, here and there. And so that is kind of another perk in what I like about being an independent trainer as well.
I like it. I like it. So kind of setting your own hours, helping people kind of achieve their goals and changing their lives. I like it. That's actually really positive.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, Marcus, question I always hate to ask, but it's all, I think it's important to kind of hear for people that are watching the video. What's like your least favorite thing or the worst thing about being like in the fitness training space?
That's a good question. I never really thought about that. The worst thing about or something the fear of your clients not being successful. Even to this day, I still kind of have doubts that run through my head. For example, did I write the right program for them? Was I motivating enough for them during that session? Did I, connect the dots as well as I should have? I think, that can get to a lot of people, having that internal thought process, kind of self-doubt, that can kind of be scary as well. But going back to just believing and knowing that what you're doing is working, that's half the battle. It really doesn't matter the plan that you have if it's not executed consistently. So if you really don't believe in it, it's not going to happen. Your mind is kind of dumb in a sense to where it really doesn't know if it actually does something or if you think about doing something. You're going to have the same effect and reaction and response. So if you're not fully engaged, if you're not fully believed in what you're doing, your body's really not going to make the responses that it should if you do believe. So.
Okay, I got you. So kind of maybe overcoming a little bit of self-doubt is kind of one of the bigger challenges.
Right.
It makes sense. I mean, you're kind of like planning out somebody's like literally their plan for like their life and kind of like to change how they look and change how they feel about themselves and like worrying that, what if it doesn't work? that's right, a very realistic thing to worry about. But I think it's kind of what you said. You got to have faith in yourself and believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, especially when you've been doing it for a little bit and you've had some success in the past as well. So another great question that kind of falls on the worst thing. Do you have, aside from the confidence part, because I feel like you kind of just touched on that, do you feel like there are any pitfalls or any like obstacles that people have to overcome getting into like the fitness space within personal training, or maybe like having their own like not side hustle, but I guess like their own like personal training like company that they're trying to establish, like any pitfalls or obstacles that people normally would have to overcome?
Yeah. There's always obstacles and things to overcome as far as, getting your own business set up. There's a lot that goes into it. But what I would, kind of talk about and touch on is get used to being told no. Get used to being told no, and get used to, or I would say initially, don't get discouraged. If this is something that you really want to do, it's going to take at least 3 to 6 months to get, some sort of traction. I've, worked as a personal trainer, as a fitness manager. I really loved training trainers and developing and coaching. And that's something, I always tell, new coaches coming on board is, save some money up for, that can last you about 3 to 6 months, or have, something, some sort of means to live, but expect to grind for 3 to 6 months and be told no multiple times a day, because it's really planting seeds and watering those seeds into for them to blossom. And then finally, someone's like, because 90% of people out there don't know they need a trainer until they talk to a trainer. So, having those contacts, consistently and constantly is really going to increase your chances of potentially helping that person. And so there's a lot of time that needs to be invested. And so something that I've overcome is, just being told no multiple times by the same person, but really just kind of, showing them that, hey, I'm here. This is what I do. This is what I offer. This is how I can help you.
I got you. I got you. So kind of being comfortable with hearing no, and also just being willing to put in the time and effort it's going to take to kind of get to where you're going to get to. Because it's going to take a little bit to like build that base and then build up from there.
That's right.
I used to hear one of my old sales managers at Golds used to tell me that he actually liked getting told no. That he said that his goal was to get 3 no's, because he was his math over his life. He'd done sales his entire life was 25% of people will tell you yes when you first talk to them. He's like, so once I get 3 no's, I know there's a yes coming. It's got to wait for it.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, I definitely understand that. I definitely think it's one of those things that's it's a little intimidating, like kind of what you said when you first start in the training realm. I think a lot of people are really intimidated by someone telling them no, and it kind of makes you apprehensive to asking the next person. So I think it takes a little bit of time to work through that as well. So for someone who's wanting to get like into the training space, Marcus, and like start their own business, whether it's with a box gym or kind of out on their own, do you feel like there's like a good first step to kind of see if they're interested in doing personal training before they go out and get a certificate and like kind of dive into it?
Yeah, of course. I would say a good first step would be give away for free. So ask a family member, ask a friend, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. I'm gonna, I want to be a personal trainer. Would you mind if I took it through, maybe a program, for free? Pretty much they're going to say yes, unless they're in a position where they actually can't. That's what I would recommend. Get your hands on a couple of people informally. Really see if this is something that you'd be interested in. Obviously, the application, the queuing, the coaching, it takes a lot of practice, right? And it's not something that you're gonna pick up right off the bat, but training, some of your family members or friends for free is going to give you an idea of, how rewarding it can be, and working with different types of people, is definitely a good start.
Okay, I like it. I like it. So kind of like literally what you said, work with friends, family, kind of like getting your toe in the water, seeing if you actually like what you're doing, programming for people, and also like you're doing it for free, so people should tell you yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So another great question like that. As far as like getting to where you are today, Marcus, is there anything like throughout your journey to this point in time that you feel like you would change, or anything that maybe would have gotten you here a little bit faster to like where you are today?
Honestly, no. I'm not one to really kind of bounce back and forth or take huge risks or leaps. And I was with Gold's Gym, for 8, almost 9 years. So I did have a career, and I had my own schedule. Was in a kind of a comfortable place. So I learned a lot, and without that experience, I don't think I would be in the position that I am today. So, there's I'd like to see every situation or every scenario as a learning experience. And so whether you learn what to do or you learn what not to do. Also, if you like it or you don't like it. And so, I really don't regret anything or think that anything should have changed because I wouldn't be in the position I am today.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think a wise man once said that what was it? Your best laid plans got you to where you are today.
Yeah.
So kind of like every day, depending, doesn't matter if you're 21 years old or 30 years old, like everything that you've done along the way has been your best idea to get to where you are. So I think you got to kind of like not regret anything and live it out the way you lived it out, which is positive. For like the personal training like side of things, do you feel like there's a type of personality or like personality traits that kind of like make up a good trainer or for someone to be in the space?
Yeah, definitely. Someone who's motivating, no one wants to train with a stick in the mud. you know, I tell trainers all the time, clients will stay with you for 6 months if they see results. Clients will stay with you longer than 6 months if they like you. So really going on that relationship, when you go through, a hard time or a struggle with somebody, you build a deeper bond, a deeper connection. And so capitalizing on that and really, getting them to believe in you, right, is really going to help develop that relationship. Every session, needs to be at some sort of fun to it. There needs to be some sort of high fiving, right? If you're kind of dull, and they're not going to stick with you very long, even though you may get them awesome results. They're, at the end of the day, they're just, they not having fun. So, but also kind of like on the business side of things, timekeeping, time management, I think is very critical working with a personal trainer because you manage your own schedule. Another thing is kind of documentation and note taking. That's something early on I was really doing a lot of because I really wanted to try to ingrain what I was doing with every single person. And now I don't do as much note taking. But that's just because with the experience and what I've got. And then kind of the final, I guess one I would say characteristic would just be taking care of yourself. There's plenty of coaches and trainers out there who are successful, and most of it is attributed because people see how they live their lives and they lead themselves and take care of themselves. And so even though I've seen plenty of great coaches not necessarily maybe look the part, they've really mastered the motivation part and the coaching part. But ultimately for someone coming on, definitely get in the gym, take care of yourself, research as much as possible, keep your head in the books. That's just gonna bring you more value to yourself.
That's awesome. I like that. I think you just kind of like laid out the like perfect personal trainer almost. That sounds pretty good to me. So within running your own business and then the training day to day, like how does it affect like your general lifestyle outside of work with like friends, family, free time? Like how does like that balance kind of work with everything?
Yeah. So I would say I've got a little more freedom being an independent trainer than I did when I was working in a corporate gym. Everything that I do is solely for me and not someone else. So I'm reaping all the benefits. And it definitely has given me more opportunity to spend time with my family and spend time doing the things for myself as well.
Okay, that's positive. So it sounds like, kind of you just said, kind of we touched on earlier, is everything you're doing is going to benefit you, benefit your family in the long term, but also you're kind of in control of your schedule and control of your time. So it's like a healthier balance than working for like somebody else, essentially speaking.
Yeah, that's right.
That's super positive. I like it a lot. So as far as like getting into personal training, like whether it's running your own business or working for a gym again, like do you have any like words of advice or words of wisdom that you would tell somebody like wanting to get into it, or maybe they're listening to you and they're like, you know what, Marcus, I like what you do. I like what you're saying. Like you're motivating me right now. Like, yeah. Do you have any like words of wisdom or like any words of wisdom or any like advice for them?
Advice or suggestion, I would say start off at a corporate gym. Start off with a place that you're going to have multiple people walk in front of you, multiple prospects every day that you can reach out to, and potentially that's where you're going to perfect your craft the most. So if you have an opportunity to work for a corporate gym, I highly recommend it. It is a little bit tough to, as an independent trainer, to get people in front of you, and that's pretty much the name of the game. Is you can't change somebody's life if they're not in front of you. And so the marketing piece on the independent side, it's a little tougher. You don't have people walking, hundreds of people walking in those doors, right, that you can potentially prospect. So that would be, some advice or a suggestion. I'm all for that. And then once you start getting comfortable and feel that you can do this on your own, I'm actually looking for a couple of personal trainers to operate under FitFlex. Like I had mentioned before, and as you know me, most of my time with goals was in a fitness management role. So I really enjoyed, developing and coaching coaches and trainers to be better trainers and to help more people. And so definitely, start off at a small box gym or find a mentor that, can take you under your wing and really kind of show you the ins and outs of things.
Okay, I like it. I like it. A couple different good nuggets in there to kind of help people out along the path. So a couple good questions I like to ask. They're kind of like fun questions. What do you do in your free time when you're not training, when you're not working, not spending time with family? You got to have like a hobby or something that you do that you enjoy doing outside of work and family time.
Yeah. So I don't live a very interesting life, Ethan. I'm gonna say spend time with family because that's what I love to do. Again, quality of time. We just had our first baby last year during quarantine. We went into the hospital on a Thursday, came out on a Saturday, and the city was locked down. So definitely am enjoying the infancy stage right now, and spending as much time as I can with her. But other than that, I do like playing video games. I was a real big Halo player back in the day. Halo 2 all day. I haven't really spent too much time on it, but we like going out to like Chicken and Pickle and doing some outdoor activities, going to Dave and Buster's, things like that. Again, more video games, but I'm not a real big fishing guy or hiker or that's your typical answers. I just try to spend each day where needed, and I really enjoy working out as well. So that's not a lot of people can say that they do their day-to-day is also their hobby.
Yeah, no, that's really true. I like that you do what you love, literally. Also, that Chicken and Pickle right over here is popping. I live right around the corner from it, and that place is bananas, man. There is always people there.
Yeah, dude, it's so much fun, and the layout is open, and their chicken. I mean, yeah, they're named Chicken and Pickle, but their chicken, man. Every time I go, I get their chicken, grilled broccoli, bro. It is like, man, I have to.
I went there one time when they first opened, and the wait was like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come back. And then it's just been busy ever since. So I just haven't had a chance to go yet. So someday the line won't be out the door. So one more question for you. This is another fun one that I love to ask. Any secret talents or hobbies, or maybe something that people wouldn't know about you when they first met you? I don't know. I keep referencing this because it was like the one that made me laugh the most, and I feel bad because she's a super nice lady, and I'll tell her that I'm giving her a hard time in all these videos. But she told me that she liked to read British history books. That was her thing. She liked to read like old 1800, 1700 history books about like Great Britain. And I was like, yeah, I would never guess that in 1,000 years. So like that works for me. So if there's anything like that at all for you.
I mean, a talent, I can stick out my tongue and touch my nose.
This guy with the dad jokes.
And yes, dad jokes. I just needed a baby for it to be official. But yeah, just I'm a light guy. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like to make others laugh. I guess something interesting about me, my high school mascot was a unicorn. I think we're the only high school with a unicorn mascot. So I like to say I'm a unicorn when first meeting somebody and they ask me that question. And I guess thinking about maybe reading or watching or doing other things, I was at a point in time I was watching a lot of Ancient Aliens.
Okay.
And kind of geeking out on those conspiracies and those theories. But kind of made a lot of sense what they said. But yeah.
I got you. I mean, also, I didn't know you played football, and you kind of told me that at the beginning, so I felt like you kind of stole one of your answers, but I didn't know that either. The unicorns, really though, that's kind of like a weird, or the colors.
So we were blue and white, and
okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, when we were when the high school was first being established, the story goes that they were, establishing the school, they had an artist, and it was they were asking them to draw a griffin, and that was going to be the mascot. It was going to be a griffin. He came back with the drawing, gave it to them. I don't know who, or what, or thought it was a unicorn because of the mane, how it came up over the head. I guess one of the hairs was sticking out and looked like a horn, and so he was like, "Oh, this is a unicorn," and it stuck. So,
perfect. That's the best thing in my entire life. And then I have one more question for you, Marcus.
Yeah, for sure.
That I feel like is really important for people that are watching and listening. As far as like getting into personal training, I know it's kind of like starting your own business. Like you said, like it's 3 to 6 months. You got to kind of like build up and like have that foundation, and like, all that jazz that goes into it. So at the point in time that someone's a little bit more established, maybe 6 months to a year in, what do you feel like is like a typical range of like pay that someone should be expecting to make? And then like, do you feel like, I don't know, in your experience working at Gold, as long as you did, maybe you knew people kind of maybe like the intro and then more of like the top end that people could kind of like be looking forward to if they got into the career?
Yeah, of course. Working independently, I mean, you set your own prices. So a lot of trainers, don't value their service, and so will undercut themselves. So really believing in what you do, and keeping, a price that you feel is going to support you and also is fair to the client, I think it's kind of your best bet. And rates can range anywhere. I mean, from $50 to $150 per session. It's just, as an independent trainer, what do you want to offer, and what do you feel is right for the price that you're asking for. If you're going to a commercial gym, you can expect anywhere from $20 to $40-$45 per session. A lot of corporations have different pay scales, pay models, but typically you can find yourself in that range, and you can go towards more of the 40, the $45 to 50, with more education, so more certifications, more specialties, and then some also incentivize you if you are training more sessions and training more clients, they pay you a little bit more as well. So that's kind of what to expect coming on, and then throughout your career.
Okay. And then as far as like kind of like the higher end of it, like do you have anybody that or maybe even yourself when you're working at Golds, or don't have to give me right now because I don't want to like ask you what you're making right now, but like maybe you've met or that you've known along your journey that have been like pretty successful in the career, and kind of like what they were like maybe around what they were making per year?
Yeah, of course. In a corporate setting, in with Golds, I had some trainers that I worked with, making 75,000 or more. They were some more the top trainers. And then as far as independent trainers, I mean, you're talking 50,000 to 150,000. It's kind of again, it's what the rate that you set.
Yeah. And also kind of just like how much time it takes you to kind of like build up to that level as well.
Yeah, that's right. And how much time you're willing to devote, your day to training.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing about training that I think probably should have said at the beginning or asked you about at the beginning, but I'm going to like throw it in there for you to affirm at the end, which I kind of already touched on a couple of times, and so did you. But I really think that people got to understand that when you get into like personal training or even like running, like I said, like your own like fitness training business, it is your own business, whether you're working for a big box gym or you're working completely for yourself out of your garage, like you're building it all by yourself. Even if you're in a gym setting, like, yeah, they might give you leads or people that they're going to put in front of you. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to build your business. And kind of what Marcus said, you have to go out and promote yourself and talk to people and get in front of people and hear the no's. And it's really putting it on your back. But again, kind of like what Marcus has done, I feel like with like your journey is like, you've worked in the big box gym setting, and now, you're starting out on your own, making your own fitness, creating your own fitness business, training business. And it really yields crazy big results when you build up to that point in time where like you've worked with so many people and you're building that business daily. So it's kind of like that. You got to put in a lot of work, but you also are going to be able to reap the benefits for yourself, especially if you're doing it the way you're doing it as well.
Yeah. You were absolutely correct. There's a saying that I really like. It's do everything, get paid nothing, so you can do nothing and get paid everything. So that's really, I, always expect when I start something new, like I'm not going to see a lot of return immediately, but keep doing it, and believe in yourself, and that return will come.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's perfect. That's pretty much what I got for right now, Mr. Marcus. I don't know if you had, like I said, if you get any other thoughts, any other ideas, words of wisdom, any dad jokes, whatever you got, anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm good.
All right. And then just one more thing for you. Forgot to ask you at the beginning, so my bad. I don't know if you want to shout out the company again, company website. Maybe if anybody has any questions like about like certifications or like, hey, Marcus, I live in Texas. Like you said, you're looking for a trainer. I don't know anything like that, or just maybe check you guys out online and kind of see what you're about. I don't know if you want to re-shout that out again so everybody can hear it and know it.
Of course. Yeah. So my website is www.fitflextraining.com. On there, you'll find information, services. You also find my social media pages you can click on and access Facebook and Instagram. If you would like to reach out to me via email, you can shoot me an email if you have any questions. That email is Marcus, MARCUS .Sanchez, SANCHEZ @fitflextraining.com. So yeah, if you want to reach out to me via email, go to my website, follow, any of my social media accounts, shoot me a DM, however you would like to get in touch.
Awesome. Well, we greatly appreciate it, Marcus. Again, yeah, if anybody has any questions or if anybody's looking to get some personal training, whether it's virtual or in person, and you're in Texas, even more better so because he's in San Antonio, obviously. But yeah, so definitely check it out. And I appreciate you coming on today, Marcus. Thank you very, very much. And I look forward to talking to you soon, my man.
Thank you, Ethan.
You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.